Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're watching this, then hopefully you finished the first 100 days of my journey. In this video, we'll be finishing the next 100 days, ending on day 200. I'm going to try and be more organized in these days, and actually get some things done. The Twilight Forest is one of my favorite mods, so it's a good place to start out. Day 101, and it's off to my first boss, the Naga, a big, scary snake. The Twilight map shows me where all of the bosses are, so it's pretty easy to find them. He took a little while to take down, but I was never really in any trouble. The Naga drops a cool trophy, which right now is just his head, until I can get a trophy case for it, and then some Naga scales, which will make a suit of armor. Day 102 was an around the base kind of day, tending to the chickens, breeding some cows, a slow day. But I also got my first map made. Not a big deal, but over the course of the next while, I'm hoping to fill it out really nicely. Day 103 and I'm back for another Naga. I need a few more of those scales to finish off the suit of armor, so I figured while it's still fresh in my memory, why not go right for it. I think this basement here is where I'm going to be placing all of the trophies, different armors I get through the game, kind of like an achievement room. I still can't find lava blocks that count as lighting other than the lava tanks, and those things use 16 buckets of lava each. These other ones only use 4. It's a huge difference, but it might need to be done. Day 104 was a chicken day. I spent most of it breeding chickens together, and I ended up getting a gold chicken out of it, so it's totally worth it. I expanded some of the walls out to give me some more space for a project I've been wanting to do also. Day 105 I spent clearing and flattening some of the land for my new smelter. Lots of dirt being used. I made a smelter a few times, didn't like it, had to tear it down and start again. This should do for now though. Just adding some details and then tearing down the old one. Day 107. I spent so much time looking through my chest for my nature compass. I want to go to a desert and get a cactus. I just could not find it. I think I checked every single chest 5 times, and then all of a sudden I found it. The desert is a good 800 blocks away, but I need at least 1 cactus to start a farm, so it's time to move out. In this desert, which is probably the smallest desert I've ever seen, I found a mine shaft, and all I could find was a bunch of rails, but that's kind of cool. Day 108, I added some more powered rails to help me with moving up and down the mine. I spent a bunch of time working on the chickens again. Pretty much every day I spend at least a few minutes with them. Having a look over the land, I see a lot of torches. I'm going to need to, once I get some more glowstone going, use them instead of torches to make the land a little prettier. I have some cool ideas coming up, once I get some more basic things done around the base here. It's day 109, it's time to start placing some glowstone in the ground instead of using the torches. I'll be covering them up with green carpet later to blend it in with the grass. It'll probably look odd at first, but eventually I think it'll look really good, and a lot better than the torches everywhere. My XP tank's almost full, so I need more obsidian to make some more of those. Once I start making Tinker's armor, I don't think I'll need XP too much, but maybe I can make something cool with all the tanks. Here you can see me trying to blend in the carpet with the grass more. Once I get a lot more of it done, I think it'll look better. I also upgraded my pickaxe with a bunch of redstone to make it faster, so next time I'm mining obsidian, it should be a lot quicker. And the last thing I get done, just before midnight on day 110, is an armor forge. On day 111, I spent a lot of time working on Tinker's armor. First thing I had to do was figure out how to make steel, which I needed to make a special hammer and use it on the iron ingots. Smelted that down and made the plates. Ardite was used for the trim, and the manulian, I'm not exactly sure how to say that, for the actual core of the armor. The armor looks pretty cool and should protect me pretty decently, but I'm gonna have to level it up, and that means getting hit a lot. I spent way too much time on day 112 working on an auto sheep farm, and it failed miserably. I think there's actually a block in one of the mods that can interact with sheep and share it, so I'll have to get looking into that. On day 113 all the way through 116 was spent around the base, placing glowstone, sharing sheep, and placing green wool and carpet on the glowstone blocks, dealing with chicken after chicken after chicken, but we're getting there. Day 117, I thought the base needed a new look for the walls. The stone works, and it's super cheap to make, especially having a cobblestone generator, but it's not very pretty. But black quartz, that is nice. I had a bunch sitting in a chest from some mining, so here we go. And I think it looks pretty good. Now I have to get lots over time mining, and maybe even with a chicken or 2 to help out. On day 118, I worked a little bit on a safe nether hub kind of thing. Around the nether portal, just leveling it out, it'll be a place where I can keep some goodies and eventually use it to travel to different parts of the nether, either by rail or running. But I also need to pay more attention to what I'm doing, Because it's super dangerous. I didn't see a block I was mining, I had nothing underneath it, and I fell down to the lava underneath. It's pretty good I landed in the lava instead of solid ground. That might have killed me. Thankfully I lived. And on days 119 and 120, I started some industrial stuff. First I need latex, which comes from trees, and then processed into plastic. Next I need power and a water supply. You can make a pump that'll take the water, but I couldn't get it to work very well. I ended up with a sort of working machine, and I had to continually fill up the tanks with water as they got drained. Days 121 all the way to day 130 was, with the odd dealing with chickens, spent working on my auto sheep farm. I need a decent amount of plastic, which means I need to keep filling the machine with water while building the ranchers. I'm going with 4 ranchers, which are not too bad to make. The biggest wait time was the plastic and my gold needs. Each rancher takes 2 gold gears. Each gold gear needs 4 ingots, for a total of 32 gold ingots. Now, I spent a little time in the mines looking, but mostly left it to my chickens. And since chickens only give nuggets, that is now 288 nuggets I need, minus any gold that I found. So it took a long time to build all 4 ranchers. Another step was getting all the different colored sheep, and decided that 2 of each would be good. After all, the ranchers would be working non-stop. Whenever a sheep gets its wool, the rancher would trigger and shear it right away. So after combining all the flowers and dyes I possibly could find, I managed to get all the colors. I was going to make the building multi-leveled, but after working on it for a while, I thought it doesn't really need it. Only having 2 of each sheep color would mean that there really isn't a whole lot of individual sheep, so I thought, 1 level it is. Using transfer pipes to take the shared wool out and into some iron chests will make collecting even easier. Maybe I'll add some more chests later, some sorting systems or whatever, but this is pretty good. I guess I'll see how quickly the wool comes in. And by the end of 10 days, I finally have it done. It was a long time. Basically now, I have all of my wool needs met. It's day 131. Yard cleanup again. First things first. Now that we have our auto sheep farm, it's time to get rid of the old sheep farm. Poor sheep never saw it coming. Fence down and light her up. Day 132, start of a, hopefully, quick project. No more than a couple days, maybe? I'm not a fan of the bonsai tree setup I have now. It works, but it's ugly and it's limited. So let's come up with something better. Down here in the chicken coop should be a really good place to work. I'm going to make use of these storage drawers again. They're really handy for storing and for automated projects like this. Day 135 and 136, I took care of a few things around the house. I took down the old smeltery I was using for creating the seared brick. It served its purpose, but it's an eyesore here where it is. I'll make it again because I'm a huge fan of the seared bricks that it makes. I created an auto wheat farm so I can continue getting all the seeds and wheat needed for these darn chickens. Time to get ready for the lich fight, day 137. Food is going to be needed, and I think that's about it. Busting into the castle, and there's a spawner right away. Gonna make this into a quick and easy spot to drop back to during the fight if I need to. The lich fight happened on day 138. It was harder than I thought it would be. There's a few stages when it comes to fighting him. You gotta break into his shields. He has fake liches that you can't hurt, but they can hurt you pretty good. Then he creates some super zombies that hurt a lot. And then finally you take him on, one-on-one. If it wasn't for the ton of food that I brought with me, I don't think there's any way I could have taken him down. But eventually I got him, and I took his head, and I hung it beside the Naga heads I have now. And to finish days 139 and 140, some lawn maintenance, and some other little things. Placing more glowstone around the base, touching up the small areas to make it look a little better, and a little work with the new walls. Day 141, and I have found one of the greatest things ever, a smiley cloud. He's in the Actually Additions mod, and I love him. You can also change his name, and depending on what you call it, they will hold different items on their side, and something on its head. I'm guessing there's about 25 different names, so my job will be to one day have all of them, and create some type of rope for them. I've asked my kids to help me with this. Only problem, and it's just really how quickly I can make them, is they need solidified XP, so I need to start hoarding that stuff to make them all. This house, it served me well, and it's becoming a pain. Too small, somewhat hard to maneuver in, so today, on day 142, it comes down. And all the loose chests around the entire base too. Keep my stuff organized for once. And a bunch of iron chests to do for now. Day 144. The sheep farm is working amazingly. I have a ton of wool. I'm not sure if I have a project upcoming, like the roof of a house, if it'll be enough. But for something that works on its own, hey, it's not too bad. By day 146, I was able to make 10 clouds and give them all names. I think a room for them is going to be pretty cool. I wanted to include some of the status upgrades to the storage drawers, so that's what day 147 is all about. They're fairly expensive, needing a bunch of redstone and quartz, but with my chickens, it's not really too bad to deal with. Day 150, I thought I should do some more work down in the chicken pen. Too much stone down here. So, I started carving into the stone and laying some of the foundation for the rest. I continued on the chicken room and made a small counting mistake. That's easily fixed. Day 152, and I need to get a whole bunch of bone chickens, because I'm gonna make a poop wall. Yep, you heard me. One section of the wall will be devoted to only bone meal and manure. That way, whenever I need seeds or wheat, I can come down here and grab some poop and harvest lots. Some sealing work on day 153 and 154, and then some seed time. I think I used 7 stacks of bone meal and manure and got myself a whole bunch of seeds and wheat. On day 155, 1 gold chicken, 1 glass chicken, out came a diamond chicken egg. That's pretty awesome. The next couple days, not a lot happened. Did my usual chicken work, but then started working on making a good tinker's bow. I collected a bunch of the resources, but one thing I needed for the arrows is a raven's feather from the Twilight Forest. I spent a good chunk of time looking for it. Finally, on day 159, I found one. I decided on this day that I was going to try for the Ender Dragon by day 200, so I better find some Ender Pearls and Blazes. Off to the Nether to find a fortress. It took me till day 160, but I found a fortress. I killed a lot of creatures on the way, hoping to level up my bow and my arrows. It's day 161, guys. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do, so I thought, hey, why not go look for the end portal? I brought myself a handful of Eye of Enders, and off I went. About 1,700 blocks away, and I just used my last eye. So I dug down quite a ways, but I found it. The end portal. I need a bunch more eyes, but it's okay, I'll get there eventually. Day 163 and 164, I started work on my little cloud base for the cloud pets. I'm going to start off with a pot of gold, then a rainbow coming out of it leading to the cloud. The rainbow work is on 165, I got it done, but when I took a good look at it, it's not very straight. I'll have to straighten it out later. I spent a good chunk of time farming for seeds and wheat. My poop wall is working pretty decently. Once it's complete, I'll have more bone meal and manure than I'll ever need again. And to finish out the week, more chicken stuff. I got some emeralds now, some slime chickens, and nearly finished off with my diamond chicken, so it's working out pretty good. Well, I decided I didn't want to wait until the end of 200 days to do the dragon fight. I feel like I'm just going to be sitting around wasting time wanting to do it, so why not just go do it? I've got good armor, a good sword, and bow. So on day 172, it's time. I cooked up a bunch of apples, made some sharpening kits for my weapons, tools, and armor so I can fix them on the fly, and off we go for the long trip to the end portal. On day 173, it's time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'll have to admit, I don't usually come out and fight the Ender Dragon when I play Minecraft. It's just not a thing I care to do. But it was fun to do. I thought my gear was pretty OP, but it seemed to take a decent amount of damage from the dragon. But in the end, I got him. I got its egg too. And you get a ton of XP from him. So on day 174, I had to make a bunch of tanks to store all the XP. I took the full tanks and stored them on the wall on top of my house. It looks pretty good. The hill in the corner of the base, where the entrance to the mineshaft is a little bit high. I'm not a fan of the wall looking the way it does because of it. And since I'm at a point now where I'm replacing this wall with the black quartz wall, it's got to change. I took off about 5 blocks in height. Between this and working on some chickens, we are heading into day 178. And day 178 brings a new machine. The mostly not working wheat seed farm I have works if I just want to sit there and spend a little time with bone meal and manure. But sometimes you wish you just had it ready for you, right? So that's what this machine setup will do. Giving it power, it will auto-plant seeds, apply bone meal, and then harvest the wheat and seeds. It's not perfect yet, can only hold a little bit of bone meal and seeds, but eventually I'll have to move it, make it work a little bit better by adding some upgrades to how much it can hold at a time, and filtering the seeds it grabs and putting it back into the system so it never runs out. The lighting around the base of the house isn't great. Using the glowstone I don't think looks amazing here, and I've wanted to use lava as a light source. Lots of lava collection and more tank making, and I'm able to put a whole bunch of these around the base of the house and get rid of a bunch of torches. Big project upcoming. I want to take on the Wither before day 200. Biggest problem? Getting all those Wither skeleton skulls. My solution is a Wither skeleton spawning pad. If I make a large enough area that Wither skeletons will spawn on, It should make it a lot easier to get the skulls I need. So I made my way to the fortress and started to work, mining out any good blocks on the bottom, covering any spawn spots with pressure plates. I only want spawns on the platform. It's a long time to get this done. I won't bore you with all the details in watching me. All it is mining netherrack, mining netherbrick, and placing where I want. I brought my cobble generator to the nether and fed it directly into 2 furnaces so I can continually cook cobble into stone, which I turn into pressure plates. This is basically what I did for days. In fact, I don't even get it done in this video. A quick fast forward to day 191. One problem I'm having is running out of black quartz for the wall, and with all the time I've been spending in the nether, my chickens don't do anything. That is until now. I built this trunk loader. Now, no matter where in the game I am, my chickens will always be working. I can spend hours and hours away, and I'll come back to lots of goodies. Day 200, I spent all this time working in the nether, building and mining, killing any wither skeletons I could. Now I got 3 skulls. It's time. I went to the mining dimension, just in case things go bad. I dug down into the ground, building just a small area for the wither to spawn. It's been a long time since I fought him. I think way back in Crazycraft, and he went down in seconds then. I figured this would be a tough fight. And it was. He hurts, but my armor and weapons are pretty good, and now I own the Nether Star. Time for a beacon. But where to put it? Future plans is to have 4 beacons together, so I might as well plan for that now. I found a good spot near my current inventory space, and it's a good thing that I have these iron chickens. A beacon uses a lot of materials. By the end of day 200, I have a beacon up, but it's not fully powered yet. And friends, that brings me to the end of day 200. If you enjoyed what you're watching or have any ideas of what to build next, toss me a like and let me know in the comments. I'll check them out and maybe do a couple of them in the next 100 days. I'll see you then.